Hi there. Welcome to my humble abode in my tiny little studio. How are you doing in the name of Jesus Christ? It's your girl, Cranky. I hope you're good. I hope you're together. I hope you're peachy. I really hope you're in a neat little bunch. So, I've been asking myself this question all day, every day, winding in my head, guang, 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 like a throbbing headache. Why, oh why is it that the Lord appears to be allowing some of his most prolific servants to be treated with apathy, to be disregarded and ignored, while really bad preachers appear to be catching fire at the very same time? Well, I reached a conclusion. I reached my own little sound inference as to why that must be the case, because I need to give myself encouragement to conquer all of these issues. I believe that the Lord does that because he is God, and so therefore, having made us in his own image and having the blueprint, the architectural paintings or drawings of us as the human race, knows very well how we function. He knows how we operate, you guys. And so because he knew that ever since the fall of Adam, we would have this inevitable way of operating naturally, we would gravitate towards it, he then made sure that those that he calls to himself, those he adores and brings into his fold, will ultimately follow a similar path upon repenting and coming back home to him. He knows that human beings have a natural tendency to gravitate towards the showy, the ornate, that which is flailing its hands in the sky, and so therefore is grabbing the most attention. He knows that people are going to believe that there is safety in numbers, despite however many times he might have stated that narrow is the road that leads to life and few there be that find it. He knows that people would go on right ahead to believe whatever under heaven they want to believe, despite the facts being presented to them in front of their faces, and so therefore he grants them the happiness and the joy of embracing whatever might be a falsehood, gawking at everybody, that they might come to their own solid conviction that this is rubbish. Only look at what's going on with the whole Darwinic movement. Natural selection, evolution. Look at it, gaze upon it thoroughly, that it is not provable in any discernible way. There are no evidences that are observable in the current time and space to basically prove evolution as a fact, and yet it is being taught as a fact. It does not fulfill nor pass any of the tests of empirical objectivity, and so therefore it gets to qualify as a fact, and yet it is being taught as a fact, much like what's happening with gender fluidity in this world, where everybody would like to deny that there are only two such genders. All of the facts that are presented to the human race, therefore, are apparently irrelevant unless somebody reaches a solid conviction in and of themselves that that is a fact. So much like Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution, so too, then, is a false preacher, a flagrant heretic that is teaching rubbish to the world. They are somebody that eventually somebody is going to walk, somebody else is going to walk in a light bulb moment concerning, and so they will eventually get to a point where they're like, I see now that I was mistaken in believing whatever under heaven it is that I was believing in. So I decided to record my video today, and likely this is how it's going to be going forward in the future. Here in this particular place where I show you the whole landscape of the room that I am coming to you guys from. I am showing you everything that you might gauge that these are my living conditions. This is how it is that I'm surviving, and this is how I get through the day. I sleep in here, I work in here, I do everything in here. This behind you is a chair. It is far more comfortable than being on my bed when I talk, considering sometimes I can go and go for hours. And so for those reasons, then I made a decision that I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to sit in a chair that is made ergonomically for the very purpose of people being comfortable as they deliver a particular thing. And I'm not going to be dedicated or determined to make my life conditions look better than what it is that they are. They are bad. I'm going through it. My life is hard. And I have been reduced to a poverty-stricken woman when once before I had everything on my silver platter basically given to me. I worked really hard. Actually, no, silver platter is quite the overstatement. I worked very hard to get to where it is that I got once upon a time, and I've been reduced to a woman living in a shack at the back of her mother's house at the age of 37 going on 38. That is what is going on. I decided to be real and show everything, precisely because eventually it pays off. Eventually it pays off. It ultimately gets to a point where we all now come to agree that this is it, guys. This is the truth. The Bible is the word of God, the veracious word of God, inerrant. Nobody can debunk it or refute it. Yet there are people who keep trying. There are people who are convincing themselves even that they have prospered to eradicate the Bible, debunk it, right? It is, however, true. And many who have entered into any kind of thorough study come to that conviction that the Bible is the true and inerrant word of God, and nobody can debunk it. Nobody can flatten it to the ground. We're in 2022. I suspect that might be real to you too. And so much has happened the past couple of years that has made me realize why I've been ignored all this time. I came to Christ in the year 2011 when I was only 26 and a half years old. I'm now 37, going on 38 in just a couple of weeks, and I've been persecuted for 8 years of my 11-year walk in the faith of the Lord Jesus Christ. I struggled to get heard for my testimony, my witness, the moment I repented, the moment I jumped up and down on the spot and said Jesus Christ is Lord. I struggled to get heard about my conversion. I struggled to evangelize anyone. I struggled to make any disciples out of anybody in this nation, let alone anywhere else in the world. I opened up, because of my persecution, a YouTube channel in 2014 when everything started going awry in my life, in order to create awareness about what's going on. In that in the beginning stages of my YouTube channel, just like any other channel that commences, no views, few views, 1 or 2 views, just random people from your own environment checking out the views, but it didn't grow, it didn't flourish. But I continued persistently for pretty much the entire duration of my initial days of persecution, uploading videos multiple times a day, sometimes every single day. I've been on YouTube quite a lot recently, trying to find out why my channel is not growing. I've been basically pulling out my hairs, losing sleep. As we speak right now, I am under a lot of demonic attack, and it has induced in me headaches. So frankly, what is ideal for me right now is to sleep, and I can't even do that because I'm literally trying to get my YouTube channel off the ground, because it has been reduced, and I call it reduced because it never used to be that. It once was a hobby, to the only means to try and see if I can't get myself some kind of a stable income coming into my life. I therefore need subscribers. I need those 4,000 watch hours, and my ministry obviously in and of itself is a niche. I am a Christian, so I cover Christian content, and I did not start a YouTube channel in order to make money. I started it to create awareness about Christian persecution, even in countries that profess themselves as Christian. I wanted to create awareness about sorcery and how it is that people are just jumping up and down in these streets doing it readily to immediate friends, family members, and how they keep on reinvesting in such a thing as this over and over and over again. I wanted to show my life as a persecuted Christian in front of everybody, literally living out the daily sufferings that I'm enduring, that people might be encouraged by my fortitude, that people might be encouraged by my long suffering, that people might also be encouraged in and of themselves, that I am not committing suicide, and so perhaps maybe save some people from doing it who are also similarly enduring what it is that I'm enduring at the hands of other people in their own lives. Sorry. I started it to create awareness. Already prior to having a YouTube account, a channel, I had a WordPress account where I was creating awareness again about Christ and pretty much sharing the gospel. And at that stage, I was still employed. So really, my WordPress account alongside my YouTube channel was my WordPress account and my YouTube channel. I got distracted by my screen switching off there in the background, but I'll leave it that way so I don't get distracted again. My WordPress account and my YouTube channel, my WordPress account on its own, that it was a hobby. It was a hobby. I never ever intended to monetize. I never ever tried to do anything of that nature. So basically, the jump or the leap in my heart in the beginning of my walk as a Christian was just to give the gospel, because I found the power of redemption. I found Jesus and the relief and the release from sin and the darkness was so great, the experience was so calming to me, that I wanted to give it to other people. So I of course, you know, got right on WordPress to type, and then as soon as I got thrown into persecution, I realized that my written blog is not enough. I need to show the actual person and what they're going through. I wanted to show the glory of the Lord and the joy of the Lord even through persecution. And so that YouTube channel commenced in 2014, moving on right ahead to, I actually just want to keep my computer on because I think it helps with the lighting. Anyway, I wanted to create awareness. I was consistently updating, basically giving people real-time understanding. I had a niche. It was obvious. I was a Christian. I was focusing on one particular topic. This is how a Christian endures persecution. This is how you conquer. This is how you do that. I then moved on because I noticed that my thumbnails were ugly. I didn't like them. Like, I would just, there was a time when YouTube used to allow for you to edit your videos inside YouTube. There was a movie editor inside YouTube where you could put your clips together. I initially started out just uploading every individual clip because I did not have at the time my Mac, so I would just upload these random individual clips, and they were just a whole showy noise of individual tiny little videos that I was uploading. I then started to use the YouTube tool to put them together, and that enabled my videos to be from one video to the next one big fat, individual secret clips being one big fat chunky thing. So I was able to get that done properly. I then came to learn that my thumbnails were ugly, just me by looking at them. I had some little camcorder at the time, and I was uploading it with the quality of the video at the time, which was quite high. Like, if you were to see my older videos, which are currently privatized, the quality of my initial videos is not even that bad. So yeah, I did all that, but my thumbnails were ugly, so I decided that I was gonna take, because it was just taking whatever, like, still, you know, that would be taken from my videos, and YouTube ran with that. So I made a decision that I'm gonna start taking photos, literally, you know, photos, to use as thumbnails. And so you will notice that most of my videos, that is, okay, if my work was publicized, but it's privatized at the moment, most of them have got thumbnails that are better looking pictures of myself. I'm smiling, or I've got a side shot or whatever, right? And then you click on it and you go on the inside. I also used to make 100% sure that I record in lighting, daylight hours, because I noticed that daylight hours gave me better lighting. So basically my videos were pretty high quality, and they were high definition, and they filled out the whole screen, and I was covering real-time Christian persecution drama, essentially, the kind of stuff you would find in suspense-filled movies that have got a horror knack to them. They've got an action knack to them. They've got a comedic knack to them, because I can be quite jocose. They've got all the genres that you can think of, but it's like a Christian just living out the nightmarish existence of being persecuted. That's what I did. Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, even though I am thoroughly aware that I'm not supposed to be preaching to men, however, I know that men are here. My videos or my YouTube channel got absolutely nowhere. I wasn't even trying to get it anywhere. I was trying to get whoever will listen to listen. I wasn't trying to monetize. I didn't even know you could monetize. I didn't even know people could make money off YouTube. I just wanted to create awareness in this, like, funny place that I discovered. It enables regular Janes on the street to just do videos. And this was in 2014. And I did this consistently for the next 2 to 3 years. And in all that time, I gained 50 subscribers. No, not 50, 43-ish subscribers. And I've ever since then, I then went quiet for a very long amount of time, and I've recently just come back, literally just a couple of months ago. And I went underground because persecution got too hot, too extreme, and I, in and of myself, got told, you better stop telling the world what's going on with your life, or you will find yourself homeless. So I started working underground. My videos now started getting done underground, and I had a plan in the future to upload them in real time later on. I've already told the story, so I'm not going to labor on it, right? I told myself that I was going to grab clips from old, show you what I went through, but in whatever time in the future it is that I would then start to share the work. I'm not here to tell you my YouTube story, because I've already, not YouTube story, so but my persecution journey, because I've already kind of run through it before in the past. There was a video where I did to explain all this stuff, so I'm not going to labor, right? Cool. And like I said, I gained 40 subscribers over 3 years. Over about 3.5 years it is that I gained these 43 subbies in my channel. Righto. Here it is that fast forward all these years down the line. God was now in 2022. God is in 2022. And I have been endured through so much pain, so much sorrow, and also the sorrow and the pain that I've been endured through has been precisely because of something so basic, so dumb, as I don't have a job. My loss of employment caused people to lose their cool and treat me like I am the scum of the earth. They have picked me from underneath their shoes like bubble gum that they then throw in the dustbin. I've been treated like I am nothing for 8 years and counting. And yet I have maintained all of this health in my cheeks and glory because Christ, you know, he has this. So because I got to a point where it got really painful, I thought I was going to get my life back in corporate again. I thought I could just apply for jobs again. And, you know, I tried to start a business undergrad. I did already communicate all that, and it all failed. And when then I got pressurized to go and scan groceries at the local Pick and Pay, I was like, I need to find a way to earn a salary before I get forced to go and scan groceries at the Pick and Pay. So I came back to YouTube to basically tell my story again. But this time around, because I had studied more, I'd learned more. So just because I was off YouTube recordings does not mean that I was off YouTube education. Basically, I was just seeing channels grow and grow and grow. I was following people and I watched them get from 0 subscribers to 50 to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000. You get my point, and so on and so forth. And I was like, maybe, perhaps, just potentially. If anything, I got inspired by a YouTuber that is a South African young lady. She started out doing makeup tutorials. I was not into makeup tuts, but during my little sister's matric dance, that would be the last year of high school, the tantamount of a prom, she was busy investigating makeup ideas and whatnot. So I checked out a whole bunch of tutorials online to see if we can't do her makeup from home instead of her going via a professional to save money. She eventually went via a professional because everybody was just really horrible at doing the face beats. So I started going on YouTube to look for people that do face beats to get a tutorial in and of myself on how to do makeup. And I found this one girl from South Africa. Her name is O Small Stuff, right? Oyisa. And she started out in the beginning with very grainy videos, low quality, using her barren, lackluster cell phone in her bedroom, doing makeup tuts. And she grew and grew and grew on that from that place. So I started watching her. By the time I caught up with her, she had already grown to perhaps 30,000 subscribers, right? But I went like further down into her videos and realized that she started like from absolute naught, with poor lighting, poor camera quality, poor lighting conditions. And I just say lighting, but background, like the room, you know, was just like drat, like nothing at all to look at. And of course, she in and of herself learned and grew and grew. And at the time when I came into her channel, like I said, she was on about 35,000 subscribers. And this young lady was also a student at Wits University. She was dependent on mom for everything type establishment thing. And yet she prospered to move from, with that 35,000 subscriber number, out of home, out of dormitory, out of mom paying for her commune residential space where she's living with friends during her university days. She went, because of those 35,000 views, she got to get out of that space, and now she had her own apartment. And I noticed her apartment in the background just based on the finishings, that she was living in a Baldwin property somewhere, because I've lived in those Baldwin properties, right? And I could also notice, based on the layout in the back, gauge that it was a 1-bedroom, because, like, you know, I said, I know how Baldwin properties look on the inside. So I know also, therefore, how much Baldwin properties cost per month rental for a 1-bed. It's about 6.7, going on 7,000 rands, maybe even 7.5. I don't know if the amount of money has gone up ever since then, but 1 beds, they are like about 7,000. 2 beds, you'll pay 9 to 10 grand. 3 beds, up to 13,000 rands per month for them. So I knew that this woman was at a minimum earning a salary from YouTube that not only paid her rental, but, you know, you don't just rent, you eat, you pay a car installment, you drive, you go all over the show. She bought a car, and she also was able to pay the rental in that Baldwin property. So she, at a minimum, had a cash flow, like free flowing cash. At a minimum, she had a cash flow, I would imagine, of about 19 to 20,000 rands at a minimum, because she had to pay both a note for a car and also like a car installment, and also for a house, and of course she had to pay groceries and what have you. Maybe mom was still helping her, but I highly doubt it, especially black parents. As soon as you get a job, now for what, for who? Why must I keep giving you some stipend? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I figured from this woman's channel, I did the math in my brain from her channel. When I saw the student at university that was still a student, did not have a paying 9 to 5, yet to graduate, and she was living in her own apartment, and she had her own car that she had purchased, I picked up that with just 35,000 subscribers, you can have a basic normal life as an independent woman. My goodness, how long did it take me to be able to get like my first apartment alongside also paying my car installment when I was working a regular 9 to 5? I realized that YouTube was this like miracle gem thing that can enable people to faster get to where they want in life than starting out at the bottom in corporate, you know, from low level entry, blah blah blah. Now I come from a history where I had a thriving career that I had built from scratch, from the bottom. You know, when you're busy earning that ridiculous 4,000 rands per month salary, I started there, right? I started in that kind of ridiculous space, and I know what it's like to grow and grow and grow. So the pain that was in my heart to potentially go back to do that so I could get myself to where it is that I was now earning that, like, you know, handsome salary that could afford me a 2-bedroomed beautiful apartment in some complex. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. South Africa saw it fit to kick me out from the employment landscape, that I would, if at all I wanted to come back, start from scratch with all these skills I've gained. There is a problem in this country like that, and I suspect it might be in the world at large, but I can only relate to South Africa, where they want to grab skilled professionals, but because they've got a gap in their CV, they want to call them rusted and literally slice off half, 50%, going all the way up to 70% of what they used to earn before they lost their jobs. And if at all you lost your job in the uncomfortable way that I lost mine, more so are they going to shave off 70% of your previous earnings. For me, it was like, I've ground, I've done the work, I've put in the time. I literally went to prison. The corporate system, the beginning of it, when you first start out in those call centers, is like prison. I did my time. I was in prison and I got out on parole because I worked hard. Do you understand? And here it is that I'm running around as a free woman working an independent professional job that I didn't so much love, but it was paying the bills, okay? And they want me to start again from scratch. The laborious, terrible existential crisis of low income earning corporate employees that don't even have cars, and so therefore they have to like ride it out in the severe weather in the morning using public transportation to get to a job they can't stand, and they do that twice a day as well. The whole like doing the traffic in a taxi thing, they wanted me to go back there. I mean, the level of insanity against my life has just been astronomical and through the roof, and on top of that they wanted me to do it as an older woman, so I would have been the tantamount of ingutu in the call center. No, sorry, audacity. It's just audacious for anyone to imagine that's ever gonna happen with me. So upon watching Oisa's channel, I was like, this woman, this young lady, she's telling me things even though she's not really saying them. Just by looking, I can hear stuff, you know? And looking at her videos, I'm hearing things. I'm seeing, I'm gauging, I'm discerning, I'm able to come to sound conclusions about stuff, right? So Oisa's channel, it motivated me to basically try and see if I can monetize my YouTube channel. I realized I don't need crazy astronomical numbers in order for me to make a decent salary, basically a salary, like a monthly income that's going to make sure that I've got my bread, I've got my car, like lifestyle paid for, and I have got my apartment. And while I try to fix everything in my life that went awry, at least I will be independent and removed from an environment where I'm basically thwarted in my creative legroom. I am thwarted in my abilities to, or my desires, really, frankly, to do things. I am at a level now where I've been doing YouTube videos for so long that I should be super high quality. I know how to edit, I know how to do ABC, etc., but I am restricted by income, I'm restricted by inability to have certain resources, by equipment. I'm literally restricted. My channel could look so much better, and my videos could also come out so much better insofar as I had certain resources, right? So that was my thing with Oisa. I learned through her channel that there is a way around this. I then started noticing other young YouTubers that, again, are yet to do a 9 to 5 grind, that call center lifestyle that makes everybody want to sleep early, because really you would hate your life when you're working in the call center. I noticed a whole lot of other young ladies from this nation, because of course Africa is the benchmark, because I am here, right? I noticed that these kids are living in a way that I never quite got around to doing until I was killing corporate for about 4 or 5 years. So I mean, what's going on? Like, you know, and in that 4 or 5 years, the thing was that way because I grew really quickly in corporate, because I'm clever, I'm smart, and I'm very skilled at what I do. So I was seen, and so I got given those promotions. But for some people it's 7, 8, 9 years to get to that level that those kids were at, and I wanted it. I wanted whatever it is that they had, without so much coveting as it is admiring. And also it's almost as if the Lord was opening up my eyes to see that I really don't have to be in this situation. I don't, like, YouTube is an environment where you can go and earn money, right, without even having any startup capital. That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to invest in startup capital insofar as you've got access to internet somewhere, you'll be able to upload your videos. And these days, internet, you don't even have to have it in your household as Wi-Fi. Just go to the nearest mall, the nearest shopping center in your neighborhood, and you will have Wi-Fi. Just sit there in your car, or if you don't have a vehicle, somewhere, just like roam around, upload your video and go home using your cell phone device. You know, you can also upload from your cell phone. So I realized that this is literally a zero investment potential, however, to break bank, really heavy insofar as you can get it right. And so for me, it was worth my while. I apologize, guys, where it is that I am recording. Yeah, my life, my living conditions. I have an animal that I have to keep on opening for, closing for. I don't have a cat flap. My life just sucks, okay? I don't know what to do, like literally no clue. So I have to just deal with the fact that chansiki and whatnot when the cat just scratches at the window and I gotta open. My frustrations are real, they're deep, they're heavy, and it's just, yeah, anyway. Let's continue to have this discussion. I noticed that, I realized that it was a zero investment potential, however, for high earnings, and all it requires was raw talent. All it requires was raw you, whatever you want to bring forward, whatever is the thing that you're the value proposition, you're the competitive advantage. And so if you've got things working for you, like personality, talent, like you can sing, you can dance, you can whatever, if you have got, like, what do they call that? What is the word that I'm looking for? Stock. If the stock on your shelves is you, how much more then can you do exactly what you want to do? When I came to Christ, I prayed this prayer: Father, please give me a job that I love so I don't have to feel burdened by going there every day. And there is also this saying in this world that do what you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. Well, YouTube is an environment and a space where that can be made possible. You can do what you love and never have to work a day in your life, but you have to grasp it, you have to get it, you have to gauge it. Plus, the world is super interested in random things that other random people are doing. And so it's the perfect space to come into for general world interaction, to engage with human beings that you've never met, that have never met you. And another thing about YouTube that makes it so incredibly great is that the individuals that look at you don't know you. They don't know you. They're not your family members, they're not your friends. And we all know how taxing family members can be, how taxing friends can be, how their envy can literally be suffocating. It can cause you to cease to exist, like literally as a concern, period. I am persecuted by my entire family. I am persecuted by my entire friendship set. I have got challenges. I'm living in this squeezed up space and no one in my family thinks it's inappropriate. That's what family does. That's what friends do. So the amount of support that you get on YouTube, so people who follow you, people who subscribe, people who comment, people who like, people who basically are your market do not come from your life. The great majority of them, these are the issues that I'm challenged by. I am talking, I'm working, and I just want to continue to do that, and then there's just like people talking in the background. I get distracted, my chain of thought, you know, get severed, chock-a-blocked, and then I have to like find my bearings again. So let's do that. Find the bearings. I think they're here. Okay. Your own friends and family members can be the bane of your existence, frankly, and that's unfortunate because people in your inner circle should be your biggest cheerleaders. They should be your greatest mascots, but they strangely are not. And I would know, guys, like I would know the pain and the sorrow of having every last person that you love deeply really want nothing good for you, like nothing good for you. That's where I found myself, and YouTube became this place for me where I was like, they're strangers. They are complete strangers. And so the likelihood then of being envied to a point of severity is very low. It's why you are able to follow a celebrity that is way more beautiful than you, way more talented than you, on Instagram, on TikTok, you get my point. Like, you follow them and you are the one that basically pays their salary every month. You don't envy their big fat mansions. If anything, you go and you do a tour inside their house because you're watching MTN Cribs or whatever, and you're like, oh my goodness, I love how that person lives. You celebrate them, you thank them for showing you how great life can be, like low-key on the inside of your heart, right? You're a fan. Now corporate, my goodness, I come from there. It's beastly. It's frankly a cesspool. I can't deal. Gross, ew, vomit. Ooh. Okay, corporate is this environment where initially when you come in, everybody's much like Beyonce's fans. They could like you, they could be cool with you, but as time progresses, they start to compete with you. Your skills pop out, you start to rear your pretty head, and so therefore upon it speaking or flowing articulately in a boardroom where you're killing the presentation of your colleague, by a landslide because you're doing better than them, the colleague then starts to grow fangs, and random stuff like sabotage starts to become a thing planted in their hearts that they're planning against you. And then you find yourself again plotted and schemed against by a conglomerate of colleagues because you're so good that you're the cut above the rest. And so therefore, in order to try and preserve their own random lackluster employments, they are now, deliberately trying to pretend like whatever it is that your ideas don't make sense, whatever it is that you have to deliver, whatever is your VP, your value proposition is frankly worthless, and they can throw it in the dustbin, let it spin around in some kind of a vortex and disappear into some other cosmos, another dimension, get in the Hadron Collider there at CERN and just make itself into some other space. They are trying to make you appear that like something that can disappear into a space of that nature. Corporate, South Africa, or anywhere else it is that you would find yourself working amidst a bunch of colleagues, there is potential for a great deal of envy to make like Pac-Man and gnaw away at your success. Literally barriers to entry that get put up against you, people that are deliberately trying to thwart your progress, and so they work together against you. That is corporate. Now, when you're super talented, when you're super skilled, when you have got so much to offer, you will be envied by friends, you will be envied by family members, and of course you will be envied by colleagues who you do better than. It is therefore not the best place for you to thrive and be the best personal version of yourself that you potentially can be in a space where you're ever in the presence of people that I apologize, guys. I'm not going to edit this out. Please. I don't have the ability to do that. Not ability, but just time. It's not on my side. I'm backlogged because of these podcasts in this like ridiculous country. And there's likely going to be another one coming at 6 p.m. So just putting that out there as a caveat. Okay, like what? Anyway. Yeah, no, these colleagues of your, not so much colleagues, but these people who ransack and backstab the living daylights out of you, they make sure that if you are gifted, like if you've got a cut above the rest, like above average talent or above average skills pertaining whatever it is that you're doing, you are gonna have some random lackluster individual in your very immediate environment, trying to take that away from you, and they will be given a greater potential to prosper, to succeed, because there are individuals in that same space that they can influence successfully. So they can successfully badmouth you to your boss. They can successfully plot against you with your colleagues. They can successfully make your access card not work during the time when you have an important meeting with the CEO, and so you can't even get up the stairs to the CEO's like chambers. They can successfully do stuff like that in a way that cannot be successfully done on YouTube. It cannot be done. So when you enter into this particular space, another great thing about it is that you don't have colleagues, and unless you decide to recruit somebody, unless you decide to collaborate with another YouTuber, you don't have colleagues as a YouTuber. You don't have staff members. You don't have people with a growling general constitution about themselves. You know how sometimes you don't know who in the world has been infiltrated into your space when it comes to even staff members. Like you could hire somebody's kid because they came highly recommended. Granted, they're a spy for their mom or something, or in and of themselves, it's just lethargic. They're lazy. It's your own value proposition. You are the VP, and you also are the grandest understander of your own giftedness. Like, you know what you got going for yourself. You know what it is that your boss overlooks. You know what it is that your friends pretend is not a thing about you. You know what it is that even your closest sibling is basically trying to act as if though it's not the baddest. You know, and there is a perfect space or environment for you to come to where you are going to get these neutral eyes that are so far away from you that really they have no incentive in themselves to hurt you, and so they will either like you or not like you. It is a place you can come to basically audition in front of a whole bunch of strangers to gain what would be the tantamount of your own little tiny celebrity status in that tiny little community. The likelihood for sabotage, the potential for rug pulling underneath people's feet, therefore significantly declines with YouTube. If you're very greatly gifted, the bane of your existence is working anywhere where you have to be colleagues with a whole bunch or a myriad of random fools that might envy you to a point of literally trying to coup the crap out of your future. Coup it. Take it by force. Making like a bad African president that's been one for 90 years. Yeah. That is what it is that you eradicate with YouTube. So, I mean, I'm not blind, neither am I deaf or lacking in understanding. I don't have any kind of psychosis. I am healthy in all regards, to gauge thoroughly, very logically so, with a whole bunch of ration and reasonableness, that I'm gifted. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. I know I'm well spoken, I'm well articulated. I know I am hella intelligent. I know I can sing. I know I can dance. I know I am beautiful. I know certain things about myself that friends of mine have tried to like deny as a fact. Family members have tried to deny as a fact. Colleagues have tried to deny as a fact. Random strangers I met just yesterday, and now they decided to grow ugly chichiboya fangs in their hearts, have decided that it's not a fact. I know that there are things about me that my own immediate environment, much to my sorrow, because they are my immediate environment, don't even want to acknowledge is a truth about me. And there is a platform that I can go to prove that, to test it, to basically throw it in the water and be like, let's see what color is going to change. What's the color going to be there? And when then I happened upon the earning potential of YouTube, even though I started it out as somewhat of a hobby, when I happened upon this fountain, I was like, this is a place where I can test if my boss was wrong in 2007. This is a place I can test to see if at all my teacher in school was messed up. This is a place where I can test to see if my ex-boyfriend was basically passing me shade. This is the environment that I can come to gain the validation that I have been wondering if it's worth my while to look at. This is the environment where it is that I can confirm that I am not narcissist. You know, in a Greek mythology, there is this character called Narcissus. The word narcissistic comes from it. Basically, the story of Narcissus goes along the lines of this. Narcissus had a friend whose name was Nemesis. It wasn't a friend, it was more like an enemy. The word nemesis in and of itself comes from that story of Narcissus and Nemesis. Nemesis was the enemy of Narcissus. Narcissus loved his face. He loved how beautiful he was. One day, because he was always looking in mirrors and stuff and was just regarded as really gorgeous and beautiful, what Nemesis did, because he knew just how much Narcissus loved his own appearance, he then realized that if he can just send a Narcissus to some kind of a river or a body of water where his face would be reflected back to him, he would think that it was some beautiful, gorgeous young lady or something, and then be like, I want to be with you, fall in love with you. And so Nemesis did just that, sent Narcissus there. Narcissus looked into the reflection, thought it was someone else, and then as he was trying to basically grab a hold of this beautiful person in the water, then basically fell to his demise. He drowned. So Nemesis is basically somebody that is your enemy, that wants your absolute demise and will go to great lengths to make sure that you basically shoot yourself in the foot. I wanted to find out if I was not just basically a bad case of narcissist, where I'm so narcissistic, so inward focused, I think I'm so skilled and so talented, I know what in the world it is that I have going for myself, that I keep on looking in the mirror and it's causing my demise because don't nobody else see it but me. I am literally like chasing after my mirror image and it's killing me. People wanted all throughout my life to make me believe that I am narcissist. I was intelligent, I was gifted, I was a cut above the rest, I was academic in school, like just a lot of stuff that basically was working out for me. And jealousy will always slap a person like that. Or, you know, the kind of girl that annoys you in school because they play the cello, they're beautiful, they're the captain of the soccer, of the like volleyball team, they're this and they're that. Like, it was annoying, the suite of things that I came with to certain people, and so they saw it fit to take it into their own hands, make it their own prerogative to show me that I'm nothing but a narcissistic buffoon that should realize that you ain't jack. Frankly, there's nothing to write home about with you. What it caused in my life in my earlier days was a little bit of a withdrawing within myself to walk around basically self-loathing. Like, you know, when you say things like, I'm not that pretty, I'm not that beautiful, I ain't that great, I suck, I am dumb when I'm not. Yeah, like I used to downplay myself to a point even of attracting the wrong kinds of people that I could not relate to because they were drawn to the sorrow in me. They were drawn to the lies I was saying to them about who I was. And when then I flourished like I blossomed like a flower, they then inevitably also turned a particular way, because you can't be fake like all day long. Like, you know, when you're faking being good, when you start to be good because you're walking in your natural stance, goodness gracious, you are going to ward off in your environment like pestilence spray abantu that came into your space because they thought that, you know, sonke we can dibana ngokufana, we can all just kumbaya with each other because we're the same thing. When you start to blow up and be a cut above them, they're gonna pass you shade. So that's how I gathered for myself a lot of random people in my life. I downplayed my intelligence. I pretended I didn't know certain topics when people were talking about them. I acted as if though I was not aware of what it is that I am, in order that they might just hug me, you know, like when you're thirsty for utando, yeah, type thing, whatever. Yeah, it hurt me. It hurt me bad, because by the time I came to Christ, I got so afflicted with witchcraft that, yes, like it, I didn't know whether I was coming or going. YouTube for me became an environment to prove to fools that I was not narcissist, that I just understood. I had a sense of understanding of oneself. Now the Bible, the scriptures, so you can understand this is not the tantamount of pride, as it is rather just a recognition or an understanding of your own gifted set. In the parable of the talents, the Lord says that if you take your talents and you use them, God is going to give you more of them. But if you don't use your talents and bury them in the ground, then you're going to find yourself in a position where you're not only burning in hell, but the talent that you had is going to be given to somebody else. So when you know what you can do and you pretend you can't do it just for the sake of pleasing fools, for the sake of pleasing people that they might accommodate you better, that they might soothe their random fallen souls in order to accommodate in order for you to be accommodated by them. If you are so love thirsty that you will bring yourself down to the level of some other people, you are doing exactly what Christ said don't do it in the scriptures. The Lord said, I'm looking back because I realized that the curtains are not closed, but I'm going to try and talk through this and act as if I don't see it anymore. We have peeping toms up in this monster. I'm living a hard life. Anyway, if you don't use your talents, if you don't bring forward what you know you got going for yourself, if you don't use whatever the Lord has given you, you're in trouble. Meaning that if you keep on disregarding that you're good just so somebody can like you, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You will find yourself in the flames of hell, and God will take whatever it is that you buried and put it underneath your buttocks to someone else. So Christianity gave me a beautiful, nice little perspective and understanding of how life actually works. Do you understand? It made me realize that I was wasting time looking to be liked by people, because what it did is cause a very exceptionally gifted woman that was born with like just jam-packed. The Lord saw it fit to jam-pack me, give me whatever daddy had, mommy had, and bring it into this like thing that made me whatever I am today. The Lord saw it fit to make out of me what they would call a beast. And so because of that, it would be sinful of me to not sing, guys, the way that the Lord has given me a voice to sing, to not talk the way that he will have me speak, to not write the way that he will have me write. Do you know that my ex-boyfriend doesn't even know that I can sing? Because one time I tried to release a note from my throat, trying to mask that I can actually sing, and I just kind of threw a fast one in his environment, and he was like, Garaba, don't quit your day job. I never sang in front of him ever again. Today he likely is wondering, but where did this come from? Where did this come from? I did that all my life before coming to Christ, because of the normal distribution nature of society, where it is that most of the people are clumped in the center here. And so average intelligence, average giftedness, average beauty, average whatever might be a thing that you can use that to put in a mediocre bunch, it's in the center. And anybody at all that has the extremity of it are on the outliers, either on the far left or the far right. And so if you've got an outlier talent or an outlier trait, it is the cut above the rest. It's your competitive advantage, and it's what God has given you to make out of yourself a fruitful human being on earth. So if you've got extreme beauty, you gotta use it for the glory of God. If you've got extreme singing talent, you gotta use it for the glory of God. If you have got extreme intelligence, did I make mention of intelligence? I don't know. If you have got something that kind of is sitting above average, that is your competitive advantage, whatever it might be. But the world, most of the time, in any of the things in which you are extreme, whatever it is that you're extreme in, the grand majority of the world is in the center. Whatever that thing might be, you also might be in the center pertaining certain other things. But there are certain things that also you have that literally is just you, or it's literally you in a mega square meterage of land that makes you basically a cut above the rest, in that the cream of the crop in that space, among the few that are good in that space. We cannot then, upon identifying whatever it is that is the extreme outlier giftedness that we've got, sit on it. And in order to be in the center of the new normal distribution is to indeed fit in, to be more liked, more loved, more adored, more appreciated. However, you cannot then abandon all of these things in order to be more liked, more loved, more appreciated, more whatever. Understand that it is the extremity of giftedness that also grants you paradigm shifting abilities. So whatever it is that is a mindset of a particular group of people, you have power to bring it into your ecosystem. So if you are extremely intelligent, you have got power to train people how you think. You have got people to train people a new idea. You have got people to devolve them from a particular way of thinking just by training them, by doing a little bit of an e-book on the matter. And so you change minds of people and you bring them into your space. You can pull people that way. That's how the Lord progresses society. That's how the Lord enabled society to conquer random systematic oppression. Structures that were oppressive, they were conquered because somebody that was a revolutionary with great giftedness, talent, and fortitude fought in a way that caused even those with a bad mindset to change it. Things get transformed, progressed, and moved on along in this world by people who are extremely gifted in that particular area. We need them. The world needs them. Otherwise, we get stagnated in some kind of tranquilized, mediocre state that has no development at all. In the absence of having these paradigm shifters, we wouldn't be where we're at today in the 21st century with all of this technology, with all of these conveniences, and even a place where you can make a whole bunch of money despite not even being done with school. We would never be there. We wouldn't have gotten there if it was not for paradigm shifters deciding that they're going to change the minds of the masses in the middle to think the way that they think here in the far right of the normal distribution. So for me then, when I identified this lady on YouTube and I noticed that she was basically making money, I was like, I had like this loud bulb moment. I was like, ding, just, you know, lit up that, first of all, she's really beautiful, right? And she has a way about telling stories, you know, and that's also that, like, I fell in love with the channel. I'm subscribed to her now because she just has these stories, right, that she also tells, and she's easy to listen to. So I ended up following in that direction. But one of the first things that I thought about this woman when I watched one of her videos was that, yasi, my goodness, she's beautiful. Now, a woman that beautiful, if you go to a club, never mind the club, but if you go to the garage, if you go just down the street, if you go to your next door neighbor's house, you're gonna have some random fool treat you like you ain't bad and a bag of chips. They are gonna pretend like you're not pretty. They're not gonna look at you. They are gonna they will avoid your eye contact when you look at them because they don't want to validate you, because they want you to feel as if though you're not as beautiful as you really are. You already get so many compliments a day. I'm not going to be one to add to your arrogance. Basically, they get automatically accused of being narcissistic. When you are beautiful, you get automatically called narcissistic, even though you don't have an arrogant bone in your body. You are born that way. Your mama done gave it to you. What can you do if you look like Amanda DuPont? What can you do? You are born that way. It's the way you are. And for people to then automatically just label you arrogant, only because when you smile those dimples pop, you're basically being accused of random insanity. People in your own ecosystem are the ones that will make you, if you look like Amanda DuPont, if you look like Oyisa, that they will make you believe that you're not beautiful, or they will make you believe that you have delusions of grandeur. When you look in the mirror and you see a pretty girl, they will make you feel as if though you're basically tooting your own horn and you need to like discipline yourself. Get over yourself, literally slap yourself into shape. What are you doing? The audacity, right, is brazen. It is incredibly brazen. So how does Amanda live? How does she thrive? How does she survive? How does she get validated? Strangers. You paradigm shift strangers. Only think about pioneers, guys, that have brought about some of the baddest and greatest ideas in this world, that have transformed the way that we operate, we function, that have made us live in a very convenient ecosystem. A lot of times they were ignored by friends and they were ignored by family members, and the people who invested in them were out of their lives. They were extraneous. They got invested in by random professors in universities. They got invested in by strangers on the street. You get my point. They also got listened to at rallies where they were speaking. If they were revolutionaries trying to, shift the world's mindset concerning racist ideals, for instance. They tended to be celebrated and marched with by people that didn't know them. So if you have a revolutionary idea, presenting it to your family and your friends a lot of times gets you brutally rebuffed. You are just going to get like tossed and treated as if though, girl, like, don't quit your day job. Like, really, we know you, Tina. We know you, Sagazi. We know you, and the thing that you're doing is it's gonna die as quickly as it rises. And unfortunately, a lot of people give up at this point because you think that your family is your best critique. No, they're not. If anything, they're your worst. They're your worst, not just family, but friends. Like, anybody at all that is in your immediate space are essentially enemies. They can be, not all the time. Yes, there are people who are blessed with great family and friends, but I mean, some of us that can't quite, testify to that issue, to that particular thing. So the worst thing then that you could do is try to find support from your social circle that on when you start a YouTube channel. The worst thing, if at all you want to thrive, is try and ask friends and family members to subscribe, or even follow, or even share, or even recommend, or even help you grow by telling other people. If you're me, if you are in my particular shoes, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a very, very difficult time. So the best strategy then would be to just basically go cold turkey and independently investigate what in the world is going on. So with the world, like literally just throw your stuff into a pool and be like, let's see what swims. Let's see what swims in this pool. You know what I mean? Very well. So I realized that there was this like a beautiful utopian environment that is going to rescue me or relieve me from the dystopia that I live in. And I imagine that that place was YouTube, where it is that I could go there, and insofar as I can revamp my channel, I will then get heard, because whatever under heaven it is that I am going through, there is somebody going through it. There is no way I'm going through this alone. Not only that, the way I am surviving, precisely because of my strength in Jesus, is a solution. There is a problem at present with abuse by the people that are closest to us in this world, of us, of you. There is a real poignant issue, and it is biblical. It is written in Matthew 24 that in the last days there will be an increase in lawlessness, and because of this increase in lawlessness, the love of many people is going to grow cold.